Hey guys, what is up? Kevin Cage back with another daily cryptocurrency video. Like and sub if you like what you see, and let's get right into it today. So keep in mind this is full speculation with this tweet in particular. Always do your own research. Do not take your advice from some YouTuber or some blogger. Get multiple sources and make your own decision. Again, we're all adults here, and make sure you're backing up what I'm saying and sharing as well. But I just wanted to share this. So King Solomon at XRP_owl. I've been asked how long I plan to hold XRP. My answer is 2025 for 60% of my holdings, which is when Swift's phased ISO 222 implementation is 100% complete. And again, this ISO 200 or 20022 is in basically a messaging standard that will allow global interoperability in not only just the world of finance, but everything, especially with this distributed ledger technology. So right here, he says, I'm hoping we see something in price way before that. And, in my opinion, I wholeheartedly believe we will see some massive price jumps way before that time. But this could be potentially when it's really maturing and getting closer to that, full value of XRP before stabilizing, as they said. And a lot of people have predicted as well on the technical side that XRP, once it's, reaching that global or mass adoption for the use case, that they'll want to keep it at that high price. Potentially there's going to be some very large buy and sell walls to maintain it between that price point and be able to operate at its most efficient use case. So, and I'm talking about way beyond just, X rapid payments. I'm talking micro payments, I'm talking e-commerce, I'm talking supply chain management, the world of trade finance, real estate, various tokenized assets, basically the entire internet of value as it comes into fruition. So right here's some slides that were on Swift's PowerPoint as well. So I just want to show you, and he kind of highlights a few here. So Swift DLT value proposition. So we have the marketplace, we have services as well, and allow third parties to provide the DLT-based services. We have the community, provide easy access to the DLT-based services to all Swift connected parties. So remember, this is 11,000 plus participants. They hold the majority of the market share today. As we're talking about standardization, remember ISO 222 compatible APIs and data models. So we're going to be getting some fresh APIs to connect everything, various gateways to allow an interoperable ecosystem. And then network support for major frameworks, of course. Next, reach. The reach of 11,000 plus connected customers, identity, the interface, of course, evolve our interface offering to fully support DLT-based services. And of course, we can see where ISO 222, the standard messaging services here with e-banking, API, of course, on the messaging side, clearing banks. You can just kind of see the connection in the center, really, of the entire DLT framework when it's on this distributed/decentralized marketplace. All right, it's creating basically an internet of value. Instead of having all of these various networks that are interoperable, have different standards, we're creating a single network that can connect all of these networks seamlessly. And again, it's a lot of people's belief that XRP will be best positioned for this in terms of settlement. So whether it's mobile banking, clearing banking, you name it. All right, and this is where it is. So 2019 right here, ISO 222 for cross-border payments specifications. So perhaps we'll see something towards end of year in terms of, some volume increase with XRP or price. But again, I'm being conservative. I'm here for the long haul, but anything can happen because I am getting, more bullish by the day. I don't care if we see any price action for a while. I'm not personally at my goal, but it's anybody's guess. November 2021. We have, the start of a migration, 4 years coexistence, 2019, again, right here, same timeline. They start the budgeting for this migration, 2021. The early adopters then begin this migration. And then, let's see, and then various, cross-border migrations as well. And again, this is subject to change. I don't know how accurate this is, but I just wanted to show you this. And of course, we have Fedwire and chips. We got Target 2, which is massive, and then Swift, of course, last but not least. And who knows? It could have a faster phased approach if there was an actual global or economic collapse. They'd be forced to really get their butt into gear and focus on this sooner. All right, and then again right here, settlement on Corda. So we have company A doing a transaction to company B, but then on the second part, there's still a need for settlement. And on the Corda settler, there's a few options. So we have transfer of funds on the Corda, so we have Swift GPI, or a cryptocurrency, for example, XRP, to connect right to this GPI link. Now, I just want to be conservative and show you this. The GPI link does not enable XRP or any cryptocurrency settlement. Swift is not collaborating with Ripple, the private company, in this proof of concept. The GPI link aims at providing a settlement solution to trade ecosystems. Ripple does not operate a trade ecosystem. You know who does, though? And again, Ripple's focused on settlement for cross-border payments, but you know who offers a trade ecosystem? R3. Do you know who have basically the same board members? The same board members, Swift and R3. That's where I'm kind of drawing this, these lines. This is full speculation. I'll get into some additional news in a little bit, but I just wanted to show you guys that. All right. Next, Northman Trader. Central banks and governments acting like there is a full-fledged crisis underway may just mean there is a full-fledged crisis underway. Exactly. By the time we know it, it'll be too late and, shit will hit the fan. And that's, to me, I know that's my opinion, but it's getting more factual by the day. Or getting more probable, I should say. Next, I am Legion. So we got a link here. Again, Universal Bits, Blockchain Bits, and is Ripple XRP undervalued after Fiat? The ILP Interledger Protocol Interoperability Demo. And as we can go and just check this out really quick. This was made a little, this year, but basically the team behind ILP is not slowing down. Now that we have a fiat connector, it's only a matter of time before the benefits of a real Internet of Value begins to permeate. With optimism around interoperability, they expect the prices to increase towards 80 cents. And obviously, I believe much, much higher. Keep in mind, this is still on the spec side. We have no idea what utility will truly do. And a lot of people will complain and say, oh, we have a few XRapid partners and we're not seeing anything in price. This investment's a scam. There's 2,000 other projects, guys. I'm here for the long haul with actual utility, not just a few people and organizations and FIs sending low value payments. I'm actually investing. I'm not, looking to get rich overnight. And unfortunately, a lot of people are, here to do the opposite, with all the, instant gratification. But anyways, here's what ILP can do. The Ripple innovation can connect banks, mobile money platforms, stock exchanges, clearinghouses, and different ledgers. By ledgers, I mean blockchains like Ethereum, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, or any other network of choice. And it's true. ILP is an open protocol suite for sending payments across different ledgers. Like routers on the internet, connectors route packets of money across independent payment networks. The open architecture and minimal protocol enable interoperability for any value transfer system. The interledger is independent, of any one company, blockchain, or currency. It's clear that ILP is what will eventually bring value to the largely fragmented blockchain. Exactly. As I say in a lot of videos, and I think I did say it earlier, we have various networks, but they cannot operate. So the ILP will bridge all of these networks and create a true network of networks to allow the Internet of Value to come into fruition. So note that there are more than 2,000 other blockchain projects, each with different value propositions. However, it is this differentiation that is draining value, because it's segmenting everything. But with a solution that connects them, allowing for interoperability, then we shall have one big, valuable network. Exactly. Next, I am Legion. This is full speculation as well, but we do know that Ripple has 200 plus partners today that have signed production contracts on RippleNet, their suite of products. And on the website, they show about 54 partners. And this was just for fun, but he asks, people in this thread to care to take a guess on some of the undisclosed names. And of course, we do know that there are some huge players that have signed non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, that cannot share that. But we already know of the huge giants we have today, like MUFG, Santander, American Express, MoneyGram, SBI Remit, Standard Chartered, of course, Qualix, which, and Mercury FX, which were one of the first XRapid partners to go live. Earthport, which I've covered plenty of times, just showing you, SendFriend, FairFX, just some huge, even Euro Exim Bank. These are huge players. This is significant. And if you guys aren't bullish, I just don't see any other applications that Bitcoin is doing. And I'm actually in it for utility. And again, he's, goofing around, so they're just speculating. People are saying Apple, MasterCard, Amazon, Uber. Right away, Amazon and MasterCard would not surprise me. I'll talk a little bit about e-commerce as well. I know that Uber is able to pay out, every single week? And they'll be looking to, pay out instantaneously, I think, at some point in the future. all of us workers, will at least be able to get paid at the end of the day. And this might be in the next 10 years. Instead of getting paid 2 weeks later or a month later, you're getting paid right after your shift or perhaps that night. PayPal, eBay, Visa and MasterCard, of course, Visa and MasterCard wouldn't surprise me at all building their own frameworks, especially the connections with Earthport. Other people, right here, Accenture, R3 Corda Settler, of course. Amazon wouldn't surprise me. Google, of course, with Google Ventures, investing plenty of capital in Ripple initially. This is a multi-billion-dollar company already. It's very, very likely, and I've already seen the conversations and the people in, their whole network, Brad Garlinghouse's network, that he's speaking alongside on stage with. Some of these huge, huge players, they're very well connected, especially in like Silicon Valley. People are saying it's too good to be true, but it's literally happening in front of us. Of course, Bank of America. So again, this is full speculation with these partners I'm naming, even TD Ameritrade, but it would not shock me to see additional companies listed later on, and it'll be a domino effect. Everybody's quiet. News is quiet about XRP. It's always Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then they'll skip it and they'll talk about Bitcoin Cash or another forked digital asset. They'll talk about Litecoin. It's suspicious. XRP is one of the only solutions I see in the future for the bailout. Next, Yoshitaka Katao, how gaming is the ideal industry for XRP. And I've covered this in the past, but I just want to emphasize again because this is huge. This is a whole other ecosystem well outside of cross-border payments and e-commerce and web monetization. So right here, a few months ago, Forte announced they will be both investing $100 million in different firms that make games based on blockchain technology and leverage. XRP is a settlement currency. In a new interview, Forte co-founder and COO says it's already undergoing discussions with more than 40 developers after attending the GDC, the Game Developers Conference in San Francisco. Response has been strong. This has been an incredibly successful GDC for us. We have met with over 40 game developers, are in active discussions to deploy the $100 million fund. We're looking at existing games with existing items and existing audiences over 50,000 registered users. Even though we've partnered with Ripple on the fund, and keep in mind, this is good for the space, we're agnostic to all of the first level protocols, whether people want to build on Ethereum, EOS, Tron, or any other platforms. We built sidechain technology to allow for the portability of these games. We're trying to make this as easy as possible so developers can focus on making great games and designing great game economies. We're going to be having actual digital economies inside of these video games as well. Whether you have a kid, a grandkid, or you're playing video games yourself, you know how it works. There's all kinds of currencies in the games today, and gaming will be massive, especially with VR. I think everything's going to become more interactive. So we want to take the challenge and complexity away from them and make blockchain seamless in the background. We don't want the consumer to have to jump through a bunch of hoops. Exactly. And again, you guys get the gist. Well, there's going to be more news about this in the future, but the gaming industry, I think, whether it's XRP or not, I think a lot of these projects will have, their own slice of the pie, and the best will survive. All right. Quote by Brad Garlinghouse, shared by XRP veteran. And again, he has said this in the past with the right amount of confidence, I suppose. And Brad Garlinghouse said that, we're going to see banks creating their own digital currencies. What do we see? JP Morgan comes out, creates a digital currency. And again, that is not solving the problem at hand that Ripple is aiming to solve with XRP, which is a true agnostic open source cryptocurrency / digital asset. And he says XRP will be any bank-backed crypto. Why? Because we truly need a permissionless landscape to actually solve the problem at hand. You think Goldman Sachs is going to want to use JP Morgan's coin? No, not at all. They're going to want to create their own. Every group is going to create their own walled gardens, and we need to bridge the value of these central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. Next, R3, the huge player, I think is going to bring XRP, to actually start settling trillions of dollars in the world of trade finance. And we've covered Marco Polo in the past, is one of the fastest growing trade finance networks powered by Corda. Trial of the blockchain solution starts the 23rd of September. Pretty interesting how it actually starts the same day as Bakkt launches. And again, for those of you that don't know, Bakkt is actually launching their Bitcoin futures on the 23rd on the ICE future and, on ICE futures US. And that'll be very exciting as well. So you learn how you can transform your receivables, discounting business, open to all banks and corporates. And, I highly recommend you guys kind of look into Marco Polo. We're going to hear more and more about this. I know I just did a video covering them as well. even, Volante as well. So very, very exciting time. So we're seeing the developments. I know you might not be seeing it in the price, but I'm just telling you, I'm not going to beg anybody to stay invested because that's just not who I am. If you see the opportunity, you'll stay invested. You've already made it this long, however long you've been here through this bear market. And it would just be silly to, sell whether you're in the green or you're 90% down. I'm not going anywhere. I know where the money's coming from. This is the typical market trend, the typical market cycle that we're going to see in the cryptocurrency market because it is so new. There's so much potential. It is a truly nascent space. All right, let's go to the next. XRP just bringing this to my attention. This is a post by Rachel Lee of last year in 2018. And I don't know how credible this is, but I do want to kind of talk about this because I still find it important about PolySign Inc. So the global cryptocurrency security firm, well-funded institutional caliber startup. And they kind of just talk a little bit about it here. And basically she says more on PolySign, the key to unlocking this market to the big money. And I was, kind of curious. I've looked into PolySign in the past, but I just wanted to kind of go over it briefly for you guys. So again, and I want to show you who's connected with them on their leadership board. And then you're going to go, okay, now I can see how XRP will be involved. So our mission to build the global standard for institutional digital asset custody, founded in 2017, has luminaries in both the cryptocurrency and financial services space working to solve the biggest problem in crypto today, custody. And along with custody, you just saw that Bakkt release that news that they do have another custody solution, which is great. What was it? The DACC, another digital asset custodian group. I forgot the actual acronym, but good to see that. And again, custody and securing these assets is key before we can actually start trading and exchanging these assets. All right. So we're paving the way for digital assets to become more mainstream, and we've got the right team to do it. So let's just take a peek at this team, and you're going to realize, wow. So right here, Arthur Brito, president, founder, and board member, co-founded Ripple and designed the XRP ledger, has grown to over $30 billion in assets in just 5 years. Prior to Ripple, he was the CEO of Information Access Technologies, Inc., one of the first ISPs. Renowned technical leader, Arthur Brito he could be Satoshi for all we know. Pure genius. We have other people from Ripple as well. We have Antoinette O'Gorman, and again, she was originally the CCO of Ripple Labs back in San Francisco. Another gentleman right here, CTO. And then look, the one and only David Schwartz, the CTO of Ripple today, along with Arthur Brito. He was one of the original architects of the Ripple Consensus Network. Prior to joining Ripple, he was the CTO for Webmaster Incorporated. And again, developed encrypted cloud storage and enterprise messaging systems for organizations like CNN and the National Security Agency. Literally worked with the NSA, one of the first people in the world back in 1988 to patent blockchain technology. He is spearheading Ripple to develop the XRP ecosystem. He said that micropayments could potentially be huge, is a sleeping giant, could be much bigger than just what Ripple is solving. And I know he has some XRP, so he's excited as well. We have another, Anna Tong, right here, VP of Product. And again, prior to that, she was the first product manager at Ripple. Talking about the products. And we got Tim Keeney, hopefully I'm saying that last name right. Look at this, was the vice chairman of BNY Mellon. Guys, plenty and plenty of money in this space. Just take a peek here. This is a team. I'm curious how the progress is going. I'll keep my eyes open and try to, keep my eye out for any developments. But again, guys, we're still waiting for more regulatory clarity. Then they'll really start looking to custody these assets. Next, this is pretty cool. So about the W3C, this is the World Wide Web Consortium. They're an international community that develops, all kinds of things basically to create, in my opinion, the Internet of Value and create an open web platform for everybody to utilize. So let me just kind of take a peek here. Again, the future of e-commerce is more web-like. Let me just Control F for the ILP. Right here, just talking about Ripple brought to W3C. Moving money between payment systems is costly and cumbersome. Just talking about the ILP benefits. You get the gist. I don't need to talk your ear out about this. But they want to, develop open standards to ensure long-term growth of the web, especially with e-commerce growing today. The web platform really can't handle it. So they're also working on, streamlining the checkout process for e-commerce as it's growing at an astounding rate. They want to simplify the UX, the user experience, especially for mobile users. There's going to be new APIs that are going to allow third-party payment apps. And that's why they're kind of talking about the interledger protocol as well, because if they're going to create a global framework, they need interoperability. And we've already talked about some of the many benefits that ILP has to offer. All right. Next, Michael iPinky7, iPinky77, and again on Twitter, and then on YouTube it is Michael Zischek, maybe the reason why Ripple talks to so many central banks, and he shares another thing about W3. So W3C, again, we just covered them, just talking about web payments, going over the interledger protocol as well. Anyone can run an interledger node using the ILP kit, and just talking about developing it, talking about the benefits, various proof of concepts, and trials that are discussed here. So I highly recommend you guys, check this out. There's some great infographics as well to help get a better idea of the various use cases, whether it's for merchants, customers, and, anybody on the retail side as well, for corporates as well. So very, very exciting, guys. We're going to have various connectors and bridge. Look, we got Ripple, banks, financial institutions, anybody through whatever currency. Unlock liquidity from multiple sources to lower the capital costs. So very, very exciting times. And I know that it might not scream XRP, but again, this is talking about digital assets as a whole, not just merely cryptocurrencies, but the whole, globe that is really shifting in this direction. And then next, I want to finish off with this, just a shout out. So XRP Boy just sharing this and bringing this to my attention again. So XRP Neo on his one Medium blog back in June, basically just talking about the connection between the IMF with Ripple and the central banks. Really, really good read. I highly recommend you guys check this out. He is honestly just underrated, does not have enough followers for the content that he produces. And you can find him on Twitter at XRP_Anderson. Definite follow in the XRP community. I believe he has a Coil account as well. I'll link some stuff below this video. And I just wanted to give him a massive shout out because I appreciate all and everything he does. And again, guys, I will continue to cover the news. I'll try to find actual, some more tangible information in the coming weeks. And again, thank you so much for 15,000 subscribers, and hit that like button, and I will see you in the next video, guys. Thanks.